intelligent. You, Max. Seriously?
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Interesting. Some 25 years ago, I went through this same procedure.
Yes, here we are again. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Board of Acupuncture public hearing for the proposed amendment to the board's administrative rules. Before the hearing is called to order, we will play a short video to explain the procedure for this virtual hearing and how members of the public can participate and interact with the board during the hearing.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
So for internet access, to view the hearing and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with an entry in an email format such as your name at emailprovider.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. For phone access, if you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the hearing. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the hearing. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the hearing is lost for more than 30 minutes, the hearing will be continued on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website. This public hearing is called to order. My name is Dr. Deborah McMenemy. I am the chairperson of the Board of Acupuncture. Also present are the Board of Acupuncture members, Vice Chairperson Dr. Brooke Foreman, Marta Rebella, as well as the Deputy Attorney General Christopher Leong, Executive Officer Chelsea Fukunaga, and Executive Officer Anna Green. Dr. Sherry Mizumoto is joining us on Zoom.
Dr. Mizumoto, are you here on Zoom? So she's not here at this
Okay,
moment.
so she is not here.
She shares phone.
The purpose of this public hearing is to afford all interested persons an opportunity to submit data, views, or arguments orally or in writing to the proposed amendments to the rules of the Board of Acupuncture. On Thursday, October 17th, 2024, a notice of public hearing was published in the Garden Island, Maui News, West Hawaii Today, Hawaii Tribune, Herald, and Honolulu Star Advertisers newspapers. The notice states as follows. Notice of public hearing. Pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statutes, Section 436E7 and Chapter 91, notice is hereby given that the Board of Acupuncture Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 at 1 p.m. in the King Kalakaua Conference Room, first floor, King Kalakaua Building, Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, 335 Merchant Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. We virtually via Zoom to hear all persons interested in the proposed amendments to Hawaii Administrative Rules, Chapter 16-72 pertaining to acupuncture practitioners. Please visit our Board of Acupuncture meeting schedule website, https DCCA Hawaii Gov PVL Boards Acupuncture Meeting _schedule, where you will find the necessary information to access the public hearing virtually. The purpose of the proposed amendments is to 1, clarify definitions, 2, expand the authorized practice of acupuncture, 3, amend the formal education and training requirements and clarify the use of titles, 4, clarify the documents that are required for licensure, 5, require applicants to pass all exams administered by the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine or its successor testing agency necessary to obtain a diplomate of Oriental Medicine or its equivalent as determined by the board. 6, require licensees to submit cardiopulmonary resuscitation certification upon renewal. 7, amend public health and sanitation requirements, and 8, clarify how licensed acupuncturists may advertise. All interested persons shall be afforded the opportunity to submit data, views, or arguments orally or in writing at the time of hearing. All persons wishing to submit written testimony are requested to submit 10 copies of their written testimony by November 13th, 2024 to DCCA-PVL, Attention Board of Acupuncture, PO Box 3469, Honolulu, Hawaii 96801, or email to acupuncture@dcca.hawaii.gov. A copy of the proposed rules will be mailed to any person who requests a copy upon receipt of $7.03 for the copy and postage. Please submit your request to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Division at the address noted above, or contact the board's office by email. Copies may be picked up at the following address between 7:45 and 4:30 Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, Professional and Vocational Licensing Division, 335 Merchant Street, room 329, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. The cost of a copy, $3.60, is due and payable at the time of pickup. Further, the proposed rules may be reviewed in person free of charge at the Professional and Vocational Licensing Division at the address and hours of operation printed above. In addition, the full text of the proposed rules is available and can be downloaded free of charge from the website of the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. https://cca.hawaii.gov/pvl/har/proposed. Individuals who require special needs accommodation are invited to call Rise Doi at 808-586-2696 at least 4 working days prior to the hearing. Deborah McMenemy, Chair, Hawaii State Board of Acupuncture. I will now briefly describe the procedure to be followed at this public hearing. If you would like to present oral testimony at this public hearing, please raise your hand when we call for testimony. Testimony will be received in the order in which you have raised your hand. When your name is called to present oral testimony, you will be given instructions on how to proceed. We ask that you state your name, and if you represent a group or organization, to also provide the name of the group or organization you represent and or the name of the person whom you represent. The purpose of this public hearing is to hear your views and arguments regarding the proposed amendments to the rules. The board therefore will not be discussing your testimony during the public hearing or answering any questions which might be raised by your testimony at this time. The board will be meeting after this public hearing to conduct its regular meeting. At that time, the board will fully consider your testimony and any written testimony which is submitted regarding the proposed amendments to the rules. The board intends to make its decision during the regular meeting. The meeting is open to the public. I would like to begin with acknowledging the written testimony we've received. I will read the name and organization, if any of those who submitted written testimony. After I call your name, if you are present and would like to also give oral testimony, please raise your hand so that our staff may enable you to unmute your microphone. Written testimony has been received from Cindy M. Ching, President, Acupuncturist of Hawaii. Angela Wolfenberger, registered / licensed clinical dietitian / nutritionist. Stacy Brashears, President, Hawaii Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Ralph Schenefeld, Senior Vice President, Health and Safety Institute. Dr. Y. Hoa Lo, President, Institute of Clinical Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. At this time, I would like to ask if there's anyone else in attendance who would like to give oral testimony. If so, please raise your hand now and we will call you in the order your hand was raised.
Chair, we have a raised hand from Tuesday.
I think they said John.
Anybody else? Stacy Brashears. So I'm gonna know PVL. Sure. We will recognize the first person, oral testimony, Tuesday. What's the last name?
Wasserman.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much, Chairperson McMenamin, Dr. McMenemy, and to the members of the committee. Really appreciate all of your work and your efforts in ensuring access and public safety when it comes to acupuncture and herbal therapy. Again, my name is Tuesday Wasserman. I'm a licensed acupuncturist and a staff member at the NCCAOM. And for an acupuncturist to be certified by the NCCAOM, it means they have passed standardized national exams, and regarding the practice and safety, as well as ethical and legal vetting for acupuncture therapy. The NCCAOM certification is now required by 46 states and the District of Columbia, as well as the VA, regulatory bodies, and third-party payers, as well as to the public. I'm here because at the request of the Arizona Board of Acupuncture, the NCCAOM researched the practice of acupuncture injection therapy regarding its viability, history, safety, and efficacy, and implementation regarding education and legislation, and supporting Arizona State with creating an assessment for their practitioners to demonstrate safety. Currently, acupuncture therapy is practiced, injection therapy is practiced in 11 states, and many states are updating their Practice Act to include injection therapy in the scope of practice for acupuncture. So I'm here. I very much appreciate your efforts, and I'm available to address any questions or concerns related to certification or injection therapy practices. Thank you so much.
Chair, we have a raised hand from Stacy.
Stacy Brashear from Hawaii Academy of Nutrition.
Okay, welcome, Stacy. You can go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, thank you so much to the board for allowing this public hearing, allowing us to speak. Thank you for accepting our written testimony from the Hawaii Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. I, along with serving as the volunteer president for this professional organization that represents over 400 registered dietitian nutritionists and registered dietitian tech nutritionists. I'm also a dietitian, registered dietitian working in the community with a private practice called 3E Wellness. And our testimony is specific to the expansion of the definition of acupuncture medicine to include lifestyle and nutritional counseling. And this is a potential overlap with our scope of practice as dietitians. And while we absolutely support other allied health care practitioners to practice within their licensed scope of practice, there is a slight concern of a potential overlap with a broad definition of lifestyle and nutrition counseling. With dietitians, part of our certification process includes having a degree in nutrition, getting at least 900 hours of supervised practice hours, as well as completing a registration exam. And in looking at the study guides of the acupuncturist study exam outline, as well as the dietitian study exam outline, what I noted is that the acupuncturist study outline includes dietary therapy in relation to applying Chinese medicine. And in contrast, to be able to pass the dietitian exam, there's a little bit of a broader understanding of nutrition therapy, looking at all different kinds of organ systems and pathologies that happen in organ systems, and the nutrition therapy that dietitians provide are to help with management and treatment of those therapies that's included in the training and the schooling for registered dietitians. So just one little anecdote provided by a member, another dietitian working in the community. She writes that a patient she was working with had chronic inflammation in her spine and joints due to arthritis. And she also had a BMI over 30, so living with obesity. She started seeing her acupuncturist for pain management, which was definitely helpful. And we love that we have all of these different modalities to help our community. Additionally, the practitioner recommended that she eat a plant-based diet to reduce inflammation and for weight loss to reduce weight on her joints. The patient tried to tell the acupuncturist that she does not actually eat that much and has multiple food sensitivities, which makes managing her diet hard. The acupuncturist didn't believe her about her calorie intake and told her she must be eating too much if she is obese. Meanwhile, this patient's personal trainer is also telling her she doesn't eat enough protein and that animal meat is best for building muscle and improving metabolism. So needless to say, the patient was feeling lost about what to do. And so, for us as dietitians, we are kind of taking all of the information from someone's diet history as well as their medical history, thinking about their health goals. Like if this person is looking for weight management or building muscle, we take all of that into account. We definitely want to look at their overall calorie intake and providing recommendations from that kind of holistic view. We absolutely would support and promote our acupuncturists in the state of Hawaii to discuss Chinese medicine, right, and diet therapy according to Chinese medicine, but this broad definition of diet and lifestyle counseling that's within the proposed rules may provide this this kind of situation where the consumer is unaware of the difference in approaches as well as the difference in training. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Chair, we have a raised hand from Barbara.
Hi, this is Dr. Barbara Ota. I'm president of Hawaii Acupuncture Medicine Association, and we are in support of revision. And thank you for allowing me to testify.
Thank you.
Chair, we
Any
do
other-
not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Do I sit here, ma'am?
Sure, yes, thank you.
So big and so long.
You're far away.
You can sit closer if you'd like.
You don't have to yell.
I have to almost squint to see you guys. Might be different temperature zones.
Sorry,
So,
it's sort of set up with the cameras and everything.
I understand. Camera. So I'm Billy Schultz. I'm a recent doctoral graduate at the Institute of Clinical Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, and I am a member of the acupuncturists in Hawaii, as we're called AHI board. I agree with all revisions except for adding the herbal portion of the examination. It's herbal medicine is highly unregulated. As an acupuncturist, I would now have to take an herbal medication board, but a herbal medication pharmacy or dispensary in, say, Chinatown would not have to have any license whatsoever. I know when you walk in there, they dispense traditional Chinese medical advice and they're not licensed at all. So I think that'd be kind of a obstacle as far as this. And then, yeah, I think that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Chair, we have a raised hand from Tuesday.
Okay, go ahead, Tuesday.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Tuesday Wasserman from the NCCAOM again, and I just wanted to mention that when it comes to herbal certification in response to Mr. Schultz's testimony, certainly when it comes to advocacy and regulation, it's always about one, access, but two, public safety. And acupuncture is a very safe procedure in the hands of trained providers. And herbal medicine is safe in the hands of trained providers. But when it comes to unregulated herbal medicine, unfortunately, some of the medicinals we use are toxic, and therefore appropriate training and oversight is valuable for public safety, especially when it comes to herbs like futsa or aconite, or understanding the different toxicities, as well as potential drug-herb interactions. For acupuncturists to become certified, there is a difference in training for licensed acupuncturist and herbal medicine practice. And as the dietitian was mentioning in requirements for acupuncturists to take the board exams and be licensed, they need a large number of supervised trained clinical hours, as well as demonstrating competency at the school level and then for the national boards. And one thing that came to mind is when Florida State required the addition of herbal medicine, they added a grandfather clause so that practitioners up to that point who didn't have herbal medicine training or herbal medicine board, they were grandfathered in so they could continue practicing, but they set it as a future date so that all license holders moving forward required herbal medicine training and herbal medicine boards, which is true in the states of Florida, New Mexico, and California for practitioners to administer herbal medicine safely and ensure the public is in good hands with their practitioner. Thank you so much.
Chair, we do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Is there anyone else present that wanted to provide testimony?
Okay, I'll just give a short brief. My name is Waiwan Loh, and I run the school here in Honolulu with ICOM, Institute of Clinical Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. I stand by on my written testimony. As you all can see, my recommendation was to use the Diplomate of Acupuncture instead of Diplomate of Oriental Medicine. The federal government has banned the use of the word Oriental in government documents, so something to think about if you can make the changes. And besides that, in addition, back to we are talking about herbal medicine certification. Would the board consider as a separate certification, just like for example, the Board of Naturopathic Physicians, they do have a separate certification for their practitioner if they want to have a advanced practice in certain areas. So in other words, you can majority, I mean, to be practical, a majority of our practitioners here, if you survey even my graduates, 80–90% of them do not have a herbal pharmacy in their clinic. They can't afford with all the herbs, right? You know, and if the board can consider certification in acupuncture just to help the graduates to transition, well, to be honest, they have a hard time to pass all the exams, to get licensed and pay back their student loans. So if you ask a recent graduate, how long does it take for them to get their license after graduation? At least 1 year. The NCCAM exams are not easy. They are very tough, you know. Some didn't even pass the first time. So if they can get licensed after taking the first 3 exams and then get certification, because NCCAM has a separate certification, standalone herbal medicine. So they can do that and improve their practice after that, you know, because insurance don't pay for herbal medicine. Only very little, only I think California get one insurance company does that. So something to consider, because our students are also the consumers. And the consumers are also the ones that are looking into what we do, right? And how to, I mean, this is just my experience with students going through the program, getting out into the communities, starting a practice, paying back their student loans. You know, there is no documented adverse effect on our practitioner being complained for any adverse effect on herbal medicine that we as practitioner practicing. In fact, there is very little complaint about our profession doing any damage to the public. So just my take on it. But in a few years, I retire, so you guys have to, deal with this. But just to be honest with the practical part, what is the real world situation out there? You know what I'm saying? Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'll go, Chair. Sorry.
Do we have someone?
Dr. Mizumoto, are you able to turn on your camera? We're unable to ask you that via, okay,
Oh,
there you are.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
I'm sitting in my car. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We do have another hand raised. Rachel Halverson.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for hosting this today and allowing us to speak on behalf of registered dietitians. I'm a registered dietitian and licensed in the state of Hawaii. And I just wanted to acknowledge that I'm in support of the statement from HAND, the Hawaii Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Somebody online, or I can go. All right. Aloha Chair and aloha board members, and nice to meet the new EOs. My name is Dr. Jane Tsuchiyama. I'm a former member and chair of the State Board of Acupuncture. I've served multiple terms under Governors Abercrombie and Ige, and very familiar with this rules revision process. So I'm very excited to be here on this milestone of a day. So thank you for having this public hearing. I appreciate it. Currently, I'm a board commissioner for the NCCOM and Oriental Medicine as well. I have been licensed to practice acupuncture in Hawaii since 2006. The majority of my work has been with oncology patients at the Queens Cancer Center, where I founded the program and received several grants to treat low-income breast cancer patients. Currently, the majority of my time is devoted to healthcare advocacy. I'm working on HR 3133, which is acupuncture for our seniors. It's a bill now under consideration by Congress to authorize Medicare to provide acupuncture coverage to our kupuna. These revised rules are long overdue. They have not changed since 2000, almost a quarter of a century ago. In the intervening years, there have been many changes to the healthcare environment in which acupuncture is practiced. These proposed rule amendments update our scope, provide safe, accessible acupuncture to our community while advancing the standards of acupuncture as our profession grows. I wish to express my strong support for these final proposed amendments and urge you to approve them. And thank you so much, Chair, for fielding it through. Thank you.
Dr. Tsuchiyama, do you happen to have a copy of the written testimony that we?
Sure.
Thank you.
Chair, we have a raised hand from Claire.
Go ahead, Claire.
Sorry there. So I was trying to unmute myself. Aloha, everybody. Thank you again for having us, for allowing us to attend this public hearing. I am a registered dietitian as well in the community, practicing and in private practice, serving the community. I do have 3 dietitians that work alongside me in my practice, serving the community. And I just wanted to express my support. I'm in alignment with the written testimony from the Hawaii Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and just encourage reconsideration of that definition of the of acupuncture medicine to remove the terminology or the verbiage lifestyle and nutritional counseling as part of that definition, just because as almost a decade in practice now, that term nutritional counseling can be very confusing for the public. Working with patients, we have them come in and getting a lot of different opinions and information from, all kinds of sources. And, again, that nutritional counseling term, it seems to a bit vague, and we just want to ensure that medical nutrition therapy is protected. It does have a very specific definition. It's the evidence-based process of aiming to treat or manage a disease through nutrition, and its components include a comprehensive and include assessment of nutritional status, provision of a nutritional diagnosis, diet modifications, counseling, and specialized nutrition therapies provided by a registered dietitian, nutritionist, or a nutrition professional. Again, we just want to ensure that language is clear, and we would just encourage that removal of dietary and nutritional counseling from the definition. Thank you.
Chair, we do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Hi, everyone. Hi. My name is Dr. Alicia Zeitler. I'm a recent graduate of ICOM, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. I just want to say that I'm in support of Dr. Billy Schultz and Dr. Lowe. As a recent graduate, I feel that, at the moment, I'm actually going through the board exams. I just did one. I'm about to take the other two that are required, but if I were to have to take the herbal test right away, it's true, it's gonna take a long time for me to get licensed. My student loan is about to hit in March, and so having that pressure and also the expense it's a lot. Our school here in Hawaii teaches herbalism along with acupuncture, but there are many schools in the mainland that you get to choose whether you want to learn herbalism as well. In our school, we don't get to choose, but there are many graduates that go on to practice herbalism. So I think if you had a separate certification and that's what you want to choose and get licensed for, then it could be global. It is true, many of us acupuncturists just want to practice acupuncture. And so if it was mandatory to take the herbalism exam, it would be something that we may not even use. So I just wanted to support that and express my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? We have online meetings.
No raised hand at this time, Chair.
Okay. You reading? Okay. That concludes the oral testimony on the proposed amendments to the rules. Is there anyone else who wishes to present testimony at this time? If not, this public hearing is adjourned. Board's regular meeting will be called to order shortly, at which time the board intends to make a decision on the proposed amendments to the rules. Thank you all very much for attending and participating in today's public hearing.
Thank you, everyone. If you